Today on 100 Huntley Street, a powerful story of faith through a shocking cancer diagnosis. When the healing felt far away, our guest kept praying and kept trusting. Plus, what if understanding your love language could bring new life to your relationships? We're diving into that too, and it all starts right now.
Well, welcome to 100 Huntley Street. Lara, I've loved being here all week.
Oh, Daniel, we have loved having you. I mean, I can't believe tomorrow's Friday.
I know.
We are going to miss you again until you're back.
Yeah, gotta go back home. And,
that's right. Yeah, but you know, your church needs you, your community, your family. So,
but it's been good. Thank you so much for having me out. I've loved my time here, and you know what else I love?
Yeah,
The Chosen.
Yes.
We
both love The Chosen.
We both love The Chosen for so many different reasons.
Yeah, so many different reasons. I mean, okay, first of all, I can't stop crying when I watch it because I'm
every
so
episode.
touched.
It's actually a joke in my house.
Is it?
Yeah, because I think the first two seasons, nearly every episode I would cry, and there would be some episodes right by the end I'm not crying. And my kids and Christina, my wife, are looking at me and they're like, oh, is this going to be the show he doesn't cry? And then in the last minute, I start crying. Right. I'm like, what's going on? It's just to see the life of Jesus portrayed in the way that they do. Yeah. I love it.
Oh, it's so wonderful. Well, Chosen Season 5 is out. Yeah. And so actually just back in March, they released this season in the theaters across Canada. There was also a U.S. release, but we had Noah James, who plays Andrew, the Apostle, which is Simon Peter's brother. He was here in studio. He was such a lovely man, and there we are chatting away. He was such an encouragement, and they actually went and did a big takeover of Dundas Square in Toronto with The Chosen. So they put up the big billboards, but they also went to New York City and did that in Times Square.
Amazing.
So all of the billboards in New York City, actually at one point, I think, just a huge group of them were all The Chosen. And then, of course, you see Jonathan Rumi. We've had him on the program a number of times. And Dallas Jenkins, you know, their hearts for sharing just the story of Jesus and you know, what he's done in people's lives. Incredible in the New Testament. But The Chosen Season 5, The Last Supper, it arrived on Prime Video June 14th. So we can now go and watch that on Prime in the comfort of our own homes.
Yeah, before, I mean, yes, it was in the theaters, but before it went on Prime, I remember when it was crowdfunded. And remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And actually, my wife and I, we actually funded them. We sent money. I mean, as a Canadian, sending American dollars. But we did it because it was just, for me as a pastor, to see the Gospels come alive in the way that they do has just been transformational, even to the point where our congregation is imagining what's going on in different ways. So we just wanted to make sure that they kept going, and it's so great to see that.
I'm so glad you invested in that incredible project. You know, right now, some of our viewers, they're watching some of the images, but it's like Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem. You know, it's him confronting the merchants, right, in the temple. And then it's going to be the Last Supper. So this is going to be a really big season. They're actually filming season 6 right now in the U.S. and Italy. You know, the impact that this program has had, like the shows. I'm looking at this right now internationally. Over $140 million over the last 3 years has been grossed by this series in 55 countries. So it shows you how hungry people are for Jesus, for the story of Jesus, and that Daniel M. has a very good sense for what is going to hit big. So he's a good investor. I have to say it.
I mean, you know,
it's so cool that you guys did that, and I had no idea.
Yeah, and I guess it's not anonymous anymore. It's supposed to be anonymous.
No, I've never known it. I just think it's so wonderful.
No, but and
thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm so grateful for the ministry that they have in doing that. Yeah. And today, I'm so excited to share a story with you today from Frank Domenichiello. When we walk through a story, as you're about to hear in a bit, you're going to hear about a surprising diagnosis. And God's fingerprints, his calling on his life and throughout it, even in who God sent to him with the nurses and the others that he was able to connect with. It's an incredible story of just God receiving all the glory in an incredibly hard road, on an incredibly hard road.
Yeah. You know, the difference Jesus makes in our lives is so astounding. And one of the important things we need to do in our relationships is really recenter sometimes and think about, if we're centered on Jesus and we're really focused on Jesus, the difference that can make in our marriages, in our relationships. And, you know, if you don't know, you've got a love language. That's very interesting. But it means that there's a certain language that you give and receive love in. So best-selling author Dr. Gary Chapman, is with us now to bring us more insight from his book, The 5 Love Languages. So tell us a bit about someone whose love language is receiving gifts, what that looks like.
Yeah, well, it's universal to give gifts as an expression of love. All cultures, giving gifts is a way to express love. It's giving something, however, that's meaningful to them. As you say, it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. It can be a flower that a husband picks in the backyard and just brings in and says, honey, I saw this and thought about you. You're more beautiful than this flower, but I wanted you to have it. You know, it can, for a child, you can pick up a stone in a city parking lot and take it home and give it to an 8-year-old boy and say, hey, man, I found this today. Look at the colors in this thing. I want you to have it. If gifts is his love language, when he's 23 years old, you'll find that stone in his dresser drawer, and he'll remember the day you gave it to him. So for these people, it's thinking about who they are, what they appreciate, and then thinking, sometimes you have to get help of other people. You might need to talk to her sister or his brother. What would you think he would appreciate in the early stages, because you don't know yet? But if it's their love language, you'll hear them say once in a while, man, I'd like to have one of those someday. You just make a list of all those things.
Well, if what you just heard encouraged you, we really want to get this book into your hands, The 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. Call 1-800-265-3100 or go to crossroads.ca/give for your suggested ministry gift of $40 or more. You know, as you sow into 100 Huntley Street and Crossroads, you make it possible for us to share the love of God with people across Canada and the world through broadcast and digital platforms, through our 24/7 prayer center. And, you know, maybe as you've been watching today, you've realized something is stirring in your heart. Something doesn't feel quite right. Maybe listening to Dr. Gary Chapman's words about receiving love and giving love, maybe that's something you don't know how to do well. Sometimes it's because we carry old wounds, or there are old messages in our lives that we receive that told us we're not lovable, or that love always comes with conditions. But that is not the love that God has for you. God's love is steady, it is life-changing, it is safe, and when you begin to understand it and really receive that love, it becomes possible to share it with others. And that's why we're so thankful to share stories like the one we're about to share with you. It's a miracle story of God moving in radical love for someone who was going through one of the most challenging seasons of their lives. It didn't begin that way. It didn't begin with God moving in the miraculous, but slowly, as time unfolded, trusting that God would have the final say, our next guest saw God move in mighty ways in his life. Well, right now, we want to invite you to take part in this conversation with Daniel Im and his guest, Frank.
I don't know if there's another word that I hate more than cancer. Not only has it taken the lives of my family members, friends, but everything surrounding it can be so incredibly taxing and painful. Yet, the scriptures tell us to consider it pure joy whenever we face trials of many kinds, because we know that the testing of our faith produces perseverance, and we are to let that perseverance finish its work so that we may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So because of this, Huntley family, this is why I'm so excited for you to hear Frank Domenichiello's story and how he saw God move in and through his diagnosis, procedures, treatments, and healing. So welcome, Frank.
Welcome. Thank you.
Bring us back to that moment in 2022 when you found the lump inside of your nose.
Well, I came back from Florida, and during that, the issues that we had with the lockdowns, and we were in Florida, I came back and I felt something, and I went to the doctor to check it out. Yeah. And unfortunately, yes, there was a little bit of delay, but at the time, with all the testing that they did, that they could, they thought of it being not as bad as what it ended up being.
Okay. Yeah.
So they talked about having the growth removed, but they didn't think it was cancerous at the time because they didn't have extensive. It didn't have the look of cancer.
Okay.
It was located in my right nasal inside, which is a rare thing because the cancer was a form of skin cancer, but it's usually found outside, but it wasn't outside, it was inside.
Okay, so up and down, right? So it's something,
right.
Maybe it's not as bad, but it's something.
Yeah, well, because of all the backlog and the procedures in the hospitals, they delayed doing the procedure on me because they didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
So as we went into the fall, I started getting nosebleeds that were manifesting themselves, and it was very difficult to live the day-to-day with that. And I really shared that with the doctor, and they put me in for January the 3rd to do the operation.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, when they did the operation, they thought it was maybe a cyst of some sort or a benign growth. It turned out to be cancerous. The problem with that was my son was getting married in February.
Yeah.
And it's not something, what do they say, Christmas?
Yeah.
You want the Christmas present?
Yeah. Yeah.
I ended up getting, I guess, some coal, which wasn't good. But I got through it. Me and my wife, we decided to move along. They moved us to Sunnybrook, to an excellent care facility, the doctor, the team, the treatment, the nurses. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are gifted.
Yeah.
And those of you that are in the medical field, if you have that gift from God and you're filled with the Holy Spirit, wow, you're dynamic.
Yeah.
You're powerful, because I felt ministered during that period of time.
In that moment of the nervousness, the worry around it. And so you went through the radiation.
Well, no, that was the first operation was diagnosis.
Yeah.
I had another operation in February.
Yeah.
Where they removed the tumor from my nose.
Yeah.
So they cut my neck, they cut my ear, they cut my nose. They took out the cartilage in my ear, rebuilt my nose, did a fabulous job. As I shared with you earlier, I'm a contractor. When I do beautiful work, I do not want people to take it down.
Yeah.
In a short period of time. The doctor, Dr. Higgins, did a fabulous job on me while I was in the hospital. Okay. It was 7 days after, or 7 or 8 days after, I went to my son's wedding. Yeah. So God really manifested, supernatural strength for me to actually attend the wedding from the morning to late in the evening. I even got a chance to dance with my wife late in the evening. I got to eat, and I really enjoyed the day. And I didn't even think, like all the thoughts you have, that God honored me to allow me to be at my son's wedding. So that was beautiful.
Yeah.
But getting back to what the doctor did, as it progressed further along the lines where the treatments and the diagnosis came back again, I'll share that a little bit further. All that work for it then to be removed. And
for your nose to be removed.
Yes. Yeah. That was very painful, and but God really took me through it with my family that was very supportive. My mother was a prayer warrior. Yeah. She prayed with sisters for so many years in her church community, and saw healings in people's lives, marriages brought back together again. And it was very difficult for my mother to accept what I was going through. And it's as if God were knocking on the door, but as if God is not listening. But God had a plan. Yeah. Because as I was sharing with you earlier before the interview, the suffering, the trials, in my case it was suffering and trials, these are all very critical in living life. God allows sometimes the trials, the temptation, the suffering. Yeah. It's a purging effect on our souls. That's what I felt. Yeah. I felt God was preparing me to be that vessel to one day stand before him face to face.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, I didn't want to leave this earth that time. I didn't. Don't, you know. But it's that experience and that journey that we all, those of us that have that faith and belief who Jesus Christ is, it's that journey.
And he was doing that work in you. He was doing that work in your wife,
Yes.
your children, and your mom, even in the way that her prayer shifted from, God, would you save my son's nose, to, would you be with him? I'm reminded of that song, Great is Thy Faithfulness. And I love that line, all I have needed, thy hand has provided. We sometimes, we'll sing it that way, but I think sometimes we mean, all I have wanted, your hand has provided. Yes. And you probably would have wanted a different story in your family, but it was, what did you need? So talk to us about the fingerprints of God, because sometimes when we're going through moments like this, we're so caught up in everything that is going on. But in hindsight, a few years later, you begin seeing, oh God, oh you were doing that. Oh God, you were doing this. So share some of those stories with us.
God was testing me when I had the second operation, which was very transformative on my face before my son's wedding. I was in the recovery room there with many others that were recovering from their surgery that day. And there was a patient next to me, which I didn't know at the time because everything has privacy. Yeah. But you have curtains there, privacy curtain. She was dealing with a lot of pain and suffering and anxiety, but more anxiety. And she was calling on to Jesus for comfort.
Yeah.
And I'm laying there and with my own issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And God was saying to me, or I felt the Holy Spirit say to me, pray for her. She needs prayer.
Yeah, I need prayer.
Yes. Right? I'm sitting there, and I'm not sitting there. I'm lying down. And saying, Lord, I mean, I don't even know who this person is. Yeah. I got my own problems. Yeah. I'm going to pray for this person. I kept my mouth quiet. Then a psychiatrist came in later on in the evening. The nurses were coming in trying to comfort her. Things weren't calming down for her. And then I intervened, and I spoke to her. I said, listen, you've been calling out for God to help you. Are you a Christian? Do you believe who God, Jesus Christ? Yes, I do. I said, the enemy in this situation is trying to discomfort your situation. He's using the fear to overwhelm you. Yeah. You're in the hospital. You had the operation. People there to help you. They will help. Can I pray for you? Yeah. I prayed. And when I finished praying for her, she calmed down. I had the nurses come to me after. They were saying, "Are you a pastor or something?" I said, "No, I'm not a pastor. I said, I'm a Christian." But while I was praying for her, there was a Greek lady in another area and sitting there and lying down in the bed. I didn't see her because you can't see the people.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay? She says, "Listen to this man." I took a picture of Jesus. I taped it to my back before I went to God. Jesus Christ can help you. So, like, you know, I don't know if you've ever been in a recovery room with many people that have had serious operations. Yeah. There's a lot of groaning and there's a lot of pain and suffering. Yeah. So that was one thing that God was nudging me to say.
Yeah, in your weakness.
Don't focus. Don't focus on your situation.
Yeah. John 14:27. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Yeah. I do not give as the world gives, so do not let your hearts be troubled or afraid." And it's amazing how God used you in that hurt, in that recovery. I know part of your story also is with the radiation treatments.
The radiation treatment, which many people go through, and some people, they deal with it in certain ways. For me, because of the location of the cancer and how they had to treat it on my nose, I had to wear you want to call it a mask, and they buckle you down, they strap you. That's a big issue for me. Yeah. Because I'm claustrophobic. And again, God is dealing with another fear in my life. To get it out of my life. Okay? And going through that, I held on a lot of hymns from a young person to when I accepted God as my personal Savior, Jesus Christ. So those hymns really reassured my spirit in that situation. As a matter of fact, a lot of the songs that I had a playlist, and they allowed me to put it in the treatment room. I would time it to the radiation treatment, so I would know mentally, because that was the biggest problem for me. When is this going to finish? Because you lose track of time. There is no time when you're being treated, and you know what? It's like it's too much stuff spending time in the hospital. I did 33 sessions there.
Well, and what I love about the way that you leaned on and turned to worship music is sometimes in these moments for us when we're weak, God is our strength, but sometimes we need to lean on the faith of others. And the beauty of worship music is we can lean on the faith of these writers, of these singers, and we can, God, I can't pray these songs, I can't sing these songs, but Lord, I trust you. And I know for your story, you mentioned it a few times before, but your nose had to be removed. Like the nose is on your face isn't your original nose.
The radiation, I have a prosthetic. Which is digitally prepared. Okay. They have a lot of innovation in computer, but then you need the artist. So the artist then worked on. So this is pretty close to what God gave me. When He fashioned me in my mother's womb, right?
So then, when you knew that was going to happen, and then when you saw yourself without the nose, and then you saw this coming on, like, what did that do in your relationship with God?
I thought I was going. See, I always prayed for the healing. I did not get the miraculous healing. I thought somehow it wouldn't be as bad as it ended up being. God did not allow it in this way. I have the healing. I am cancer-free. Okay, it didn't go anywhere else in my body. You know, between the hand of God and the caregivers that have the talent given them by God at Sunnybrook Hospital, the sickness didn't go anywhere else in my body. Okay, but it's a mind game. Okay, because when I did all that treatment with the radiation, the cancer manifested itself in the same location where I got treated. And getting back to the story, if someone tells me I do a beautiful work in my contracting business, all the woodwork and the millwork, and someone says, take it all down, that happened to the doctor, I'd be kind of very upset. So, but the doctor was very, very quick on it. He says, listen, I can't do anything else for you. You had all the treatment that we could do for you. There isn't any other radiation. The chemo doesn't work. We have to remove your nose, which was a big step. But I think the whole experience of going through how God gave me rest and peace, even though at times I couldn't even breathe, I had to choose, breathe or eat. Because if you breathe through your mouth, because I couldn't breathe through here, I can't really eat. And to eat, I had to be very careful how I ate and drank, because it's breathing or eating. So that there was a lot of issues leading up to that point. But, you know, when it came to the point that my nose needed to be removed, you know, with my wife, we accepted it. We accepted it.
Sometimes in our walk with Jesus, we go about it and something happens like this and we say, God, how could you? And what I love about your story, and I wish we had more time to get into it, but what I love about your story is every day when you look in the mirror, right, I see you choosing to thank Jesus.
I do.
To say, instead of saying, oh God, how could you, you're choosing that gratitude, you're choosing that. And Huntley family, maybe there are some of you right now who feel like you can't say that. And you need to lean on someone else's faith. You're going through maybe not the same story as Frank, but something similar. And that's why we have a prayer team. And that's why we have the prayer lines, 1-866-273-4444. And our team would love to pray with you right now. Well, stay with us, and we'll be right back.
One of the things I've learned is that actually God uses suffering to build character into us. And I've interviewed many people where they have suffered persecution, they've had incredible loss, but then how God used them, they forgave, and they were able to bring others to the Lord.
These are our heroes of hope, prayer line volunteers. We honor their compassionate service. Every day, 1,300 people reach out for prayer.
We're just delighted, grateful that you are here today with us in person. And we want to celebrate you and honor you as our precious volunteer prayer partners.
Our heroes of hope answer with kindness, bringing God's love and comfort.
Everyone deserves someone to go to God in prayer with. Thank you for being that person. To the thousands that call every single day.
Together, they've devoted over 1 million hours to prayer ministry, changing lives and even generations.
Your prayers are like incense, every one of them.
You know, it's all about reaching out to others.
Daniel, that interview with Frank, so moving. And I know we're all listening very closely here in the studio. I'm sure you were listening very closely. Something that really struck my heart was Frank was praying for healing and the healing that he pictured. But God healed him in a different way. And he's here today, but it has not been an easy road. And we know that's the story for so many people who are watching right now. And we just want to continue to encourage you to call our prayer lines if you need support and believe that God can move in mighty ways beyond what we can anticipate or imagine, but at the same time, it might not be what we expected, and we just need to stay close to Him to get through the journey.
Yeah, that's right. It's that shift from God, work in the way that I want you to work, to here I am, Lord.
Yeah.
Would you have your way? All I have needed, thy hand has provided. Not what we want, it's what we need, and God knows that.
Yeah, and Frank sharing his story is such a blessing and gift to all of us, to remind us that we can make it through no matter what we're facing, the challenges in life, that Jesus and a personal relationship with Jesus makes the difference.
Yeah.
You know, tomorrow we're going to have a really important conversation here. Actually, Cheryl's going to Tyndale University to speak with Rod Wilson, and he's an expert on mental health and faith.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to that. You're going to be with us. This is your final day with us.
Oh, don't talk about that.
I know, we're not going to talk about it. Pretend like it's not happening. But we can't wait to see you tomorrow, so make sure you tune in.
Yeah.
And it'll be a very special program before Daniel heads back to Alberta.
Yeah.
God bless you guys.
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a supporter-funded nonprofit organization and member of the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities. Thanks to faithful people like you, we are able to continue producing 100 Huntley Street. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R4M2, or visit crossroads.ca to learn more about our programs.
Hello, I'm Kevin Shepard, CEO of Crossroads NES TV. I have some exciting news about what God is doing here, and I want to invite you to join our special community by becoming a monthly member. And here's why you should. Inspiration. Our content uplifts and inspires, and as a monthly partner, you help share the hope of Jesus with so many. Impact. Crossroads is more than media. We provide 1,300 prayer interactions daily, offering comfort and biblical resources, and your membership makes an eternal impact. Global missions. We respond to disasters and partner with NGOs for relief and rebuilding. By joining, you care for those in need. As a Crossroads member, you join like-minded community. You get exclusive content, friendly support. You can attend member events and stay informed. Becoming a member is simple. Choose your monthly level and payment method, and we hope you would join us, make a life-changing difference in people's lives today. Thank you for your commitment to our shared vision.